In this video, I will tell you about the trim command in AutoCAD. Located under the Home tab in the Modify panel, the trim command can be used to trim the objects on our screen to a certain point. The trim method is one of the most useful methods for when we want to get rid of excess objects. Here, after selecting the scissor-shaped symbol here, this is what we will do. Selecting the objects. We have a couple of different methods. Firstly, we select our objects and press enter. Now, where do we want to trim? We can mark the boundaries like this, and we can trim certain objects in these selected objects up until the lines. When I hover over one with the mouse, it shows me the trim symbol. Now we have different methods here. After activating the trim command, I don't need to mark all of the objects for trimming. For example, if you first click this line, then AutoCAD will define here as the boundary. When I press enter and hover over these lines, it will trim the parts up until this point. If we enter the trim command directly without selecting anything and press enter, then it perceives all objects as a boundary. We can click here and here to set each object as a boundary. Or if we have a line here, let's say for example we have a line here and I want to trim these two objects until this point. I don't have to select it all. I activate the trim command, specify this line as the boundary, and press enter. If I come here, it will delete this part. If I go to the other side, it will delete it all, from one edge to another. It won't just trim the part in between. It will trim it all because I didn't define any boundaries. If you activate the trim command and select these two lines and press enter, then you can see that it trims the space between the two. It works the same way with other objects, but when I come here, you can see that it trims the most logical extension part, because it's the part until the closest line. Because it trims this part. This is how we perform the trim command. When we type TR into the command bar and press enter, the command is reactivated, and I can set this line as the boundary. Now that is our boundary, and you can see that when we hover over the other objects, it will warn us that it will not perform the action. Because it doesn't have an intersection point, the trim command cannot be performed. I press enter to terminate the command. In this video, we told you about the trim command in AutoCAD. We hope to see you in another video.